believe coming together as business people will really move forward in terms of building ourselves and also building our country and our next of kin. I'll quickly jump into the introduction stage, whereby I will call on Abdul Aziz. He's the Business Development Manager for Somalisat, and he will take us through who Somalisat is and the people involved in Somalisat.
Thank you very much. My real name is Abdul Aziz Kulmie, and thank you very much for attending our breakfast meeting. I would like to briefly talk about Somalisat. Somalisat is not only a cable TV station, as people may think. Somalisat has 4 products, the TV being one of them. I will briefly explain the other 3. The first product we have under Somalisat is Somalisat Business Magazine. This is a bi-monthly magazine in English. The contents are editorials and adverts and real-life stories. The second product is Somalisat Business Network. This is where we have a group of people registering to come together. There are many advantages for people to come together because people like to deal with people whom they trust. So Somalisat puts this platform for this kind of meetings. The third product is a special project. You might need to take your products to areas where Somalis are. Okay, let's say a company goes to northeastern Kenya and eastern Ethiopia, Djibouti, where native Somalis are. You might introduce your product. So you come to us as Somalisat, we come up with modalities, things like research, be it social research, be it market research, we will do it for you. That's under special projects. We also have a provision for roadshows. I think it's one of its kind. This is where we introduce your products to the Somali people. We go around. And the fourth product is the TV station. As you have seen, we have a TV station headquartered in UK, Birmingham. And you can find the TV station in Europe, Australia, and Africa. Again, I want to introduce my team. We have Mr. Ali Hebe, the Managing Director. You stand up, Mr. Ali, for people to see you. And also we have the Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Suleiman Muya, very brilliant man. We have Mr. Abdiwali Mumin there, deals with business networking. We have Lilian Tile, very hardworking lady. Thank you very much. Welcome to Somalisat breakfast meeting.
Now, for us to start off, I would like to welcome Malay Ndiwa, who will actually give us a brief introduction on the topic, the post-conflict Somali, investment opportunities in the entire Somalia.
The Managing Director, Somalisat, Mr. Ali, the Chief Operating Officer of Somalisat, Mr. Suleiman Muia, Mr. Michael Onyango from the Ministry of Information and Communication, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I've been given a topic to discuss on post-conflict Somalia, investment opportunities in the entire Somalia, and I feel honored to discuss the same. Given my background, I'll just give a brief background on what Bola Associates is and how we've come to relate with Somalisat. First and foremost, I think I would like to congratulate Somalisat for the courage the station and its other products are doing. We are actually beneficiaries of what they have done, and we are working closely with them. Bola Associates is running one of the largest solar powered system, actually not in Kenya but in the entire Africa. We are working with the Ministry of Public Health and Sanitation, and we'll be rolling out 2,500 water systems around the country. All the companies from Kenya Commercial Bank, UAP, Equity, everybody has passed through our hands when they are going to Southern Sudan. And this we started in 2005, immediately after the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. And we have been working closely with the government of Southern Sudan. Now they are calling it the Republic of South Sudan. And we are seeing a lot of fruits, a lot of interaction between Kenyans and South Sudanese. And now we want to basically handle the Somali case, because we frankly feel there is huge opportunities in Somalia. Ideally, Somalia has a very big history and a good civilization, and we strongly believe as a company, or actually as a country, during this period when there is a lot of stabilization exercises going around Somalia and in the entire region, that this is the right time to make a choice to invest there. The future stability of Somalia lies in full decentralization. It is not having more government, okay? We have already seen, even in our own constitution, we are saying that we decentralize everything from Nairobi and we take it to the counties. I think that is the way Somalia should go.
Now, I'll introduce Mr. Michael Onyango, who is the Vice Chair for Creative Content Task Force. Actually, he's a very traveled man and very experienced in the communication circle. And he has played a large role in UN agencies, World Bank. He's also key in helping Somalia rebuild its image. So he's a very important person for you to relate to and understand what he's all about. Please welcome Mr. Michael Onyango.
Thank you very much to the MC. First of all, I just want to thank our host, the Managing Director, Mr. Adi, and his team for putting this together and letting us be able to come here and see how it is that we can network and essentially get Somaliland and the region going. I think this is great, and it's important that we must have partnerships that will see us grow, because really the border between Somalia and Kenya wasn't a creation of ours. It was a creation by the British. They simply just put a line through and separated families across the border. So when I stand here, I actually stand speaking to our brothers who just happen to be across another line that is on the other side. Just to start, I've been asked to speak about the role of media within development or within society, but just before I do that, I'd like to give you a little background about what it is that I do and my role at the Ministry of Information and Communication. Let me define creative content for you. Creative content, first of all, is everything that you possibly see here at Somalisat. This is whenever you put on, like when you drove here today, you probably turned on your radio. So whatever you're listening to, that is content. Whatever you watched last night or this morning when you woke up and you're watching on your screen, that is content. Whatever it is that you're reading within the magazine there, that Somalisat has, that is content. Whatever it is that for example, like when you see people celebrating within marriages and having all these cultural dances and everything else, which we classify as cultural expressions, that is what we classify as content. As Kenya, one of our biggest and our most undeveloped resource is actually our talent, which produces all this content. Media is such a critical factor within the development and within the perception shaping of any country or any society. We mustn't pretend and we mustn't cheat ourselves. Our medias have to represent our interests, what we want, and how we want to be perceived. First and foremost, like for Somalisat, I am looking to a station that will finally show the Somali that I grew up knowing. The Somali that I knew was the biggest exporter of bananas from East Africa to Italy. What has happened to those banana plantations? Where are they? Who's doing what? What is being done to support them? We really cannot grow as a region if the only thing we're doing is we're being consumers. We have to be producers. My parting shot is simply this. Partnerships are critical and are very, very important. This forum is really great. I hope the next time when we come here, the challenge is that there is not enough space and we have to move to a bigger room or a bigger location. But more than that, we've actually seen that a lot of people are beginning to work together from this fantastic opportunity that Somalisat has put together. So with those few words, please let me stop so that I stick within my time frame, and thank you all for listening.
On the topic of alternative energy and what role it plays in putting off the flames of competition for our scarce resources. Now, the specialist on that is actually Mr. Yahya Boma. I hope I pronounced correctly. He's actually all the way from Norway, and he'll give us a lot of insight into understanding how to actually have an alternative energy source which will be able to help us in our investments. Thank you. Please welcome Mr. Hayek.
Good morning. Yeah, that must be quite an irony to sit a room full of Africans and then have to listen to a Norwegian talk about sun. The temperatures in Oslo this morning were freezing. Nevertheless, I'm no longer Norwegian. I moved to Africa, to Kenya about 4 years ago. The country I come from has an abundant source of energy, which is hydroelectric power, because of all the rain. And we also have abundant fields of oil off the shore. So for us, we're well sorted when it comes to energy. So why would it lead somebody from Norway to get involved in solar energy? And the thing is, when I first came to Africa in the 90s, I was always wondering how people can keep cutting down the forest, how that can be sustainable when the forests are shrinking and the populations are increasing. Not only that, it's a very inconvenient sort of source of energy because people are dying from it. You know, there's smoke inhalation issues, there's shortages, there's all kinds of problems. In the last 2 years, even now, this whole situation is getting very, very critical. There's a doubling of the price of charcoal. The resources are definitely running out. So I've been working on a number of different things as a designer. I look at like a fresh new approach at everything, and this is something that I'm actually a bit upset that it's not more of that going on in Africa. You know, we sort of rely in Africa that somebody's going to come from the outside with some good idea. What I'll be talking about is the general sort of resource, because if you look at the different energy resources, then the sun is actually the most sort of reliable. There is also other resources like biomass, wind, and so on, and all the renewables, they play a very good role together and complementing each other and playing different roles. But I decided to focus specifically on the sun because the sun has such enormous potentials, particularly in Africa. We're talking nuclear, we're talking coal, and all these other things we have no experience with whatsoever, and nobody's talking about solar, which I think is absolutely horrendous. If you move to the next slide, we'll zoom into Kenya. If you take that ring there, and you look at the solar resource, converted with solar energy equipment, how much could it be? If you put the whole North Rift Valley with solar panels or solar farms, it's 15,000 gigawatts. How much is that? Well, today Kenya has 1 gigawatt total production of energy.
With that, we invite the Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Suleiman. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. We want to thank you, Somalisat, for having taken your time to be brave. When I say brave, I want to refer all of us to the theme. So that is one of the most important things that we even said here today. Our theme for today's breakfast meeting was and is business networking for peace. Our main communication is usually, join us, we need to provide alternatives to a certain segment of the society that we live in. Somalisat came in so that we can provide a whole different view of what these communities have to offer. We've started to realize people believe in business. And once they believe in business, they see an alternative. That is why today I call all the members that came in today and others that could have come but out of the camps are not able to, brave people. Someone somewhere is going to listen to us. For instance, we do our TV, we decided let's do programs that somehow will create the positive image that we are looking for Somalia. Our offices, the main offices in Kenya, 2, 3 now. The main office in South B, near the shopping center. That's a business office. Then we have a media liaison office in Isili, and we have another one in Mombasa. We have representation in Dubai for Asia and Middle East. We have representation in UK, where our studios are hosted. And we have representation in Australia and elsewhere. What this does is to make sure that at least our message covers all the areas where we want to source this kind of support. So again, during my conclusion, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for having believed, not just in Somalisat, but again, in the Somali and the new Somali that we're trying to build, which is Somali that is for peace and Somali that is for business. Thanks a lot.
We are closing our session now, but then don't hesitate to approach the different speakers who are here. Ask your pertinent questions, because at times maybe it's not a general public question that you're asking, so you tend to want to consult individually. So please feel free to do that.
Thank you very much. I just want to say a little bit of encouragement so that we can encourage these guys to do a little bit more. My name is Abdullah Mohammed. I'm from Energy Engineering and Marketing. And I just wanted for all of us here to spread the word so that next gathering becomes bigger than this. And we just outreach other businesses and we support the Somalisat for this area of expertise. Just to thank Somalisat for this unique expertise that they have presented to us. And I appreciate, and I stand on behalf of the others, the guests, whatever, just because I've not been mentioning my name, just to thank for you guys being here and appreciate your attendance. There's a lot of people who have not been mentioning their name in the attendance list. And all of you, I want to say thank you very much for being here, and we appreciate your effort, and thank you very much for that.
And with that, we come to a close. Asanteni sana.